Hello there, welcome to the second video on my channel. Today I would like to talk about 4 reasons why I think the pig in Dead by Daylight should get a rework. Let me begin at the first topic, or as I would like to call it, see what I saw. This first reason why I think pig should get a rework is she doesn't feel like she is from the Saw universe. You have popular killers like Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers, who have powers that represent their franchises. Michael Myers used to stalk Laurie in Halloween, and now he stalks survivors in game. Freddy Krueger is the master of the dream world, and he brings them in, the survivors, in order to torture them with pain. The pig, on the other hand, does not at all represent the Saw franchise, given how she places a trap on top of a survivor after downing them. And then the survivor has to move to different boxes to just gamble and get it off. This has nothing to do with the Saw franchise. The survivors don't even injure themselves in the process. The traps or jigsaw boxes used in the Saw game represent most likely the 10 pints of sacrifice trap from Saw 5, where people had to put their arm in a box with a cutting saw and split their arms in half. While in Dead by Daylight, survivors just wiggle their arms around a little bit until the trap goes off. This feels really weird given how the entirety of the Saw franchise is about making the difficult choice, rather than just getting lucky. I think that this is a therefore terrible representation of the franchise, and I think it could be done a lot better. Just having the reverse bear traps from the movies in doesn't mean that we bring the movie into the game. Now for a second reason, I would like to talk about the plot twisted add-ons, because Pig, in my opinion, has the worst add-ons in Dead by Daylight from any killer at this moment that this video is being recorded. Because right now, her ultra add-ons both sacrifice so much or do so little that it either helps the survivors or it doesn't do anything for good for the pig. The pig also has multiple add-ons that apply status effects, but if you play the pig without being a douchebag and you don't tunnel or camp a survivor down, you will never see these status effects in play. It doesn't matter if a survivor can't use their dead heart while they have a trap on if you're not going to camp the boxes. It doesn't matter if the survivor is bleeding a little bit more, or whether or not they can actually see people around them. If the survivor gets unhooked, they're going to get the trap off their head, and they would be stupid not to. You also have add-ons like temper timers or creative gears, which either increase the amount of boxes or decrease the amount of time from survivors. These add-ons are so weird, because either you do get the trap off early in the beginning, at which point these add-ons have done little to nothing, or they give the pig a free kill if the survivor is really unlucky. Which just, it's so weird how one add-on either completely breaks the entire game in the pig's favor, or is just a waste of blood points. You also have other perks and add-ons for the pig, which just, they're the best add-ons, like videotape or John's medical file. They're objectively her best add-ons because they give guaranteed benefits to the pig. But they're also her brown and yellow add-ons. Whereas the higher tier add-ons just don't do anything, or are completely broken, or even nerf the pig. It's so weird. And I think that the current power the pig has with the RNG around the traps makes it so that there is no other option for add-ons. And a rework to her power would really make it easier for the developers, at least, to make add-ons that represent her power and the Saw series better, while also being more fair and logical build up, so that a red add-on is indeed more powerful than a yellow one. And then for my third reason, the death is a surprise party. The RNG in this game is there's not much RNG in the game. It could be that you get a certain item from a chest, but that's it. There's not much to it. A Kobe every once in like 4 out of 100 games. But with the pig, her entire power is RNG, which means that you will be screwed or you will win. Which, yeah, it sounds like pretty basic if you say it like that. But it's a terrible mechanic for a game like Dead by Daylight. Because either you get the trap off on the first try and the pig has just like a quarter of her power completely wasted, or you don't get it off and you die. And that we've all been at a point where a killer tunnels one of our teammates down, or camps someone, or somebody just is unlucky enough to die. The game really becomes terrible from a survivor's point of view if you are with 3 people or even 2. And then you also have things like maps, which also affect the Amanda's Ladder add-on, where if you get Midwich or you get the game, could drastically impact how the pig can play for jigsaw boxes. Because if you go to Midwich and you don't get your trap off on the first 3 jigsaw boxes, regardless of add-ons that the pig brings, there's a high probability you're going to die. But you can also bring the best add-ons as a pig player. And if survivors just get a map that's so easy, so small for the jigsaw boxes to be found and reached, then it's not going to matter. You also have the map, the game itself, which is to this day still one of the most hated maps for survivors, and I completely understand why. It's a maze that is just unfun to play in. The only positive effect to it is the fact that there's a snoot you can boop. Then you also have the fourth reason, which I like to call the 10 pints of salt. The pig is, just like every other killer, capable of tunneling and camping. And I am not saying that if you were to change your powers he wouldn't do it. But right now her traps allow the tunneling so much more than any other killer would ever do. While her camping is, it's there because she can crouch and ignore borrowed time. It's not enough for going to be on the level of a Bubba player, but it's still there. And with the suggested ideas that I'm going to pitch you guys in a couple of seconds, I think we can at least reduce the amount of salt and unfun gameplay that is in this game from the pig's point of view and the survivors. And one way I think that it's easy to do is by bringing in the other 2 traps from the franchise that are very popular and often talked about, which are the Venus flytrap and the shotgun caller. There have been many people, including myself, who have posted suggestions or changes, at least to the traps, to make it so that maybe if you were to work on a generator with someone, then a certain trap would start ticking down. Or if you are healing someone, or if you are in a certain range of someone. And I don't know what would be the best choice necessarily. I don't think anyone can just easily pinpoint what it is. But I do think that it's a lot easier to balance the add-ons for the pig, the RNG that survivors experience, and to make it feel much more like Saw. If we add in multiple traps and we could potentially make it so that survivors don't necessarily remove the trap as they play around them, as by having certain interactions. And I really think that that would be a really good idea, at least, to change the pig, because as she stands right now, she barely represents her own franchise. She is one of the easiest killers to tunnel a survivor with. Her power is complete RNG. Please ignore the message that Discord just made. Her power is complete RNG, and she just, her add-ons, her power, it's all random. There's no build-up, there's no logical structure in it. It's just either you get lucky or not. It's like going to a casino and betting your entire game onto it. I think the pig is in need of a power change, and now that killers like Bubba and Billy have changed, the only killer left standing that doesn't fulfill the add-on requirements is Huntress. And after that, it's fair game for any killer. And I would like to suggest the pig to be next. Thank you for listening.